So last time, Nanj and Yanis had a chat about spirituality, but there are hints of actual spirits haunting the haven. Nanjizal then goes to the coterie's HQ to offer an apology to Clarence and offers him a minor boon as compensation, which he agrees to reciprocate. Abassi takes Matilda to a fundraiser for the University of the West of England, where he seems to have a lot of influence. He confesses to Matilda that he is worried about the city and offers all of his support to her. It is revealed that he holds a life boon over Matilda. Yanis pays a visit to Father Michael Turner to discuss hospitality. Father Michael advises Yanis that when faced with a guest that he feels ill-disposed towards, he must make an even greater effort to make them feel welcomed, as that connection will root and aid them in their journey. Carl spends the first half of the evening entertaining the coterie's guests and takes the refugees to a short social night in town. After they return, Carl meets with the rest of the coterie and tells them about a vision he had with Annie. Roger Smith seems to be the Diablerist. They all find this difficult to believe, so they start analysing other possibilities and agree to keep quiet until they know more. Nanjizal reveals that Annie has a phone hidden in the shark plush toy that she carries around. Carl takes Annie's phone and finds out Caleb was the one who gave it to her. It seems the two have been exchanging personal messages, affectionate even. Carl messages Caleb, telling him they need to talk, and then destroys the phone. The night ends with Yanis apologising to his guests and Matilda texting Christine to meet. Nanj finds some information about Jonathan Fowler and, feeling hungry, decides to go for a hunt, one that may be a breach of the Masquerade.
Hello and welcome to the season finale of Blood on the Severn, episode 8 of this first season, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set on Bristol, England in the year 2012. With me tonight,
Max playing Nanjizal of the Ministry.
Peter playing Janusz Kroll of Clan Chmitta.
Josh playing Carl Frédéric Saint-Jacques de Taureau of the Toreador clan.
Alan playing Matilda Wells of Clan Ventru.
So last week, as you heard from Hubert's recap, we left things with Nanjizal. Well, not last week. Sorry. Let's start with the basics. Thank you very much for being patient for a week with us. Last week, we had severe internet issues. We had been having them since the Friday previous, and it took about 36 hours for the service to resume. So we made the very difficult call of canceling the stream, and I think it was the right call because on Monday our internet connectivity was appalling. Our internet service provider has managed to stabilize the situation, and now we can happily stream. Worry not. This is episode 8, the final episode of the first season, and we will get everything tied together. For those of you who might need a refresher, last session we ended things with both Carl and Matilda doing remorse checks, for they had gone against the main the main chronicle tenant of Blood on the Severn, which is my faction, right or wrong. And even though Carl felt bad for not going to the Camarilla and being upfront with them immediately, Matilda felt less guilty about not standing up for the Anarchs, in particular for the main representative, Roger Smith. So Carl's humanity remains at 7, while Matilda's humanity dropped to 6. Nothing major, no big changes right now, but she feels that little bit more out of touch with what constitutes being mortal. Now, let's not talk about humanity, let's talk about destruction side of things, is Nanjizal, who was very successful.
I haven't destroyed anything, just to be clear.
Sorry?
And that shelf is never coming back.
I haven't destroyed anything, just to be clear.
You destroyed a shelf.
I mean, it fell down. Destruction's a strong word.
Well, you broke it. Like, it was very evident that someone had broken in. The shelf is gone. There's 5 people, all of them unconscious because they were already passed out drunks, and even those that weren't completely passed out, they have had some blood drained off of them by Nanjizal, who has been feeding, pecking through sort of like the buffet of canapes. That was that sort of party. She is feeling a little bit lightheaded with all the alcohol on the blood she ingested now coursing through her veins. And there is a very loud banging on the door. Probably a neighbor. Complaining about the music being very loud and all the noise that is coming from the room.
Okay. So, where is the stereo in the room? Can I see where it is?
Yes, it's in the front room.
Okay. I go and turn the sound down on the stereo. I pick up the shelf that fell off the wall in my hand, and then I leave through the back. I won't answer the door.
Okay. This is where I ask you to make a roll, but then I realize that I am the one doing the rolls for you.
I will obfuscate myself, so I leave.
You'll obfuscate.
With whatever is the appropriate power.
Yeah. So we're talking obfuscate 2? Unseen passage?
Yeah.
Unseen passage, yes. It's just, let's invisibilize yourself.
Okay, wait, can I use the other one as well? Or can I use them one at a time?
Silence
that makes
of
me
Death.
quiet.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
can I do both?
Yeah, you can do both. You can activate
I'm full of
Silence of
blood now.
Death, and then, yeah.
Yep.
You only need to rouse once for your unseen passage,
Yes.
which you succeed. You remain at hunger 1, and then you quietly, silently, and invisibly leave through the way you came in. You leave again. The Juliet balcony doors wide open.
Yep.
And from the room, and from the front room, you leave the small balcony with the landing of the safety stairs also open. Like it is evident that someone walked in from there.
Yeah. Yes.
But at least you're
I mean,
taking...
I'm relying on the fact that a bunch of drunk people who are high may not be reliable testimony.
That is your prerogative. Let's see how that works.
Yeah, let's see if I've been recorded.
If since you are using obfuscate, no further rolls are required. You're effectively invisible to mortal eyes. not so much to electronics or kindred with the ability to see past your obfuscate, but those seem like lesser concerns right now. It is, as I said in last episode, close to 3:30 to 4 in the morning. Sun is coming up.
I'm going to make my way home because I am a bit drunk. I'm not going to bother to check like whether there's building security or whatever.
Okay.
So I will. I'll obviously I'll make my way to wherever is the nearest place I can rest because I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to get all the way back to.
Kind of complicated to Janice's place because you are right now you're in Spike Island.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So can I get back to my haven?
Yes, which oddly enough would be on this side of the river.
Yeah. I mean, not that I'm worried about crossing the river because Janusz just cured me.
Well, yeah, you will have to cross the river when you go back to Janus's haven, but you have gone from north to south.
Yeah.
And past the Avon. And
And
now you're going upwards towards your shared haven in this old. I'm not gonna say derelict. It's just abandoned. That's the name.
It is. It's derelict and abandoned.
Okay, let's use the word derelict. Could you describe it? Your haven as you arrive.
Yeah. So it's It is, I suppose, to the outside, this looks like a cliff face because it's a cliff face in the Avon Gorge. And in the bottom, there is sort of a boarded up doorway, which Nanj will go through. But when she gets in there, inside there is like an underground railway. Now, the railway goes off sort of into the rock, and that is inaccessible. But back past that, in what was the station, there is a kind of an area which has been carved out as, in quotes, living quarters. I don't know if my companion is there. But otherwise, this will look like a really run-down Victorian railway, a little bit like Baker Street Station in London, if anybody knows that. But a really run-down version of it that's covered in kind of rubble and stuff.
Okay. You can hear when you're walking in, you can hear some shuffling. And then some metal clanking, and then all of a sudden you hear your companion cry out, like, "Who is there?"
I'll go, "Right, it's me."
Oh, bloody hell, where have you been? And he just throws something that is metallic against the ground.
Is it? Oh, it doesn't hit me. Okay.
No.
Okay. I'll say, what do you mean, where have I been? What, you, my mother?
When you cross, because he sort of called out while being out of sight, and once you pass the threshold, you see him inside, and he's been beaten up.
Oh, well, then I will change my approach to this conversation.
No. I mean, you had not seen him until you gave that reply.
Yeah. So when I see that he's been beaten up, then I'll go to him quickly and I'll say, "Well, you did this."
The Nosferatu in front of you is someone that you've known well, and he feels very comfortable in showing his true face in front of you, and he has clearly like gashes and cuts. He's been assaulted and probably with blades and things like that. He's not like just punches or something that your vampiric resilience will deal with a lot better. And he says like, "Your friends at the dock."
What? Who? Go down there, I'll kick his bloody head off.
You keep saying that every single time I go to the area of the docks that it's supposed to be yours, and then a bunch of fucking anarchs kick my ass out of there.
Oh, really? Well, we'll fucking see about that. They did this tonight?
Yes.
Right. It's too fucking late to go out now, isn't it? Tomorrow, first thing, I'll go down there and sort this out.
Okay.
Sorry, this happened.
Did they look for any more people?
What?
Do I need to look for more people? Because they
For
were.
what?
Well, it was not just one, Nanj. It was 4 of them.
4 of them?
And they jumped me. And
Were
you
they
get-
looking for you specifically? Or were they just spoiling for a fight? Because they're fucking anarchs, aren't they?
I have no idea. They know that we're friends, and they know I consider that your turf because it is your turf, because you've told me that's your turf.
Well, because it fucking is.
Oh, tell it to
Right.
them.
I fucking will. You. Right. Okay. Can you give me some sort of description of them so I can identify them, or do you know their names?
He does give you descriptions. He basically describes the thin bloods that are in your area, that you feel encroaching in your area. Or
Oh, good. Well, I'll look forward to beating the shit out of them tomorrow then. So I'll apologise to him again. I'll say to him, what did you lose from this happening? Was you going there for business or what? What else?
I was looking
What
for
else do I
you.
want to make amends?
No, I mean, I didn't lose anything, and I jumped into the water as soon as I had a chance. So
Right. Right, well, listen. I owe you, because you're right, this should have happened. I'll sort it out tomorrow. They won't trouble you again.
Hey,
They're just some jumped up little twats, right? Think they know what's best for people, and I'm going to tell them tomorrow they don't.
I get it, Hanj, but
But what?
yes, forget about it. Let's. I'm gonna need to hunt tomorrow evening.
All right. Do you need a hand?
Yes, that will help.
All right.
You know what? Why
What?
don't we go and hunt in your turf down the docks?
Sure.
Let's see
We'll
if
do
they
that.
have anything to say about that.
All right, we'll do it. You reckon, as for now, I reckon it's best off getting some sleep in it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he kicks back and he starts talking to you as you normally do, chit-chatting until the sun. You feel the sun coming up, and your bodies go limp. The day goes by, nothing any of you would notice, of course. But then the evening comes, and as the sun sets, you feel something in your blood activate, as if it knows the sun is gone, and it starts surging around your body, activating, kicking. All the neurons in your brain start firing again, and you start reanimating little by little. It's not like waking up, although it feels like it every time you rouse. I'm gonna need.
Was that storyteller code?
Yes.
Can you rise for me, Carlos?
No option, right?
Yeah.
Well, everybody's failing.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite scenario.
Abysmal.
It's not a competition, Carlos. It's not us against you, you know.
Did I fail?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Everybody failed.
Everybody increase your hunger by 1. Nanjizal is in hunger 2. Can I get other hunger levels, Peter?
I believe that puts me at hunger 3.
Excellent. Carl?
2.
Matilda?
I'm at 3.
Excellent. Especially because we have already used, well, some of you have already used your herd for the week, or at least 1 point of the herd for those who have just 1 point of herd. So let's go in reverse order. Matilda. Yes. From last to first. Matilda.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do now that you wake up? You feel a little. You feel it in your fangs. They want to come out.
I wasn't allowed to speak last night, but I would just like to say, before we do anything else, that I will leave a message for Christine and say
yes.
that I want to go and see her first thing today.
Yes. Sorry about that. I forgotten about it. Yes, you do send the message, and she replies. Actually, when you wake up, she gives you you have a message from her. So
Cool.
yes, so you know. So Matilda, you were
I'm also meeting Christine at some point this evening, but I think it will probably be later,
later.
than Carl is.
Is most likely, and if not,
Yeah.
you would have received a
That's
rescheduling slot. So
fine, I think I'll go over to the Haven
to
and
the HQ.
HQ, yeah,
Okay.
and spend some time with the gang. No, anticipating that I think Carl and I have also got plans that afternoon or
That
in the
evening.
night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she'll go over to the HQ. I think probably she'd do the rounds a little bit, but then I think she would go up to Annie and try and have a word with her.
Okay. Annie looks annoyed, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
She actually is hugging the Sharky plush toy.
All right, Annie.
Yeah.
I heard about your phone.
Did Nanj tell everyone?
More or less. Hope you're not too angry with her. She didn't do it to hurt you.
She said she wouldn't say a thing.
I know.
I don't like people who lie to me. Everybody lies to me.
I think sometimes things. Well, everyone lies to you. Who else lies to you?
Well, in London, people lie to me. The people who
in
kill
your clan?
everyone, every clan. The people who kill my boyfriend. Everyone lies.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about your boyfriend as well. Are you happy you're here?
I was happy with him.
What was his name?
Arthur.
Oh, was he kindred as well?
Yeah.
Marcadia?
No. Pruya.
Oh, okay.
He was.
Bit of a temper?
He was so gentle. At least with me.
Good. I mean, perhaps he's still out there. Perhaps he made it out like you.
No, he didn't. He died before all this. Well, he was murdered before this. That's why I don't trust most of the kindred. From especially the Camarilla.
I imagine the others have talked to you about options that aren't the Camarilla.
Yeah, Nanjizal spoke about something, and Janus seems like a good man, but I feel like I need time to figure out things on my own.
Yeah, I understand that. And sometimes that's best, not to have a million people whispering in your ear telling you what to do. And I'm sorry we haven't spoken a bit more over the last few weeks. I just figured you needed your space after your vision.
These visions that I have, they're not always accurate.
I hope not.
No, Carl told you about that one as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair. That involves you, but they don't come true a lot of the time. most
Okay.
of the time. But they're scary nonetheless, because it's not only the horror of what's going to happen, it's the horror of what could happen, and always trying to figure out, is this it? Is this the one? That
Do you ever have a feeling? A feeling of perhaps this one will come true, or perhaps this one is false, or are they all the same?
No, but this one gives me a sensation that actually the opposite, that actually being around you might make me feel safer somehow.
I'm glad to hear it. In that case, then I won't avoid you as much anymore. If that's will make you feel a bit better.
It's okay. I'm trying to make arrangements to leave the city tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, that's soon.
I'm going to Edinburgh with a few others.
Well, if there's anything I can do to help, is there any to help you on your way?
Can you give a message to Caleb, please? He has told me. Yeah, he has told me that you and Opasi are friends, acquaintances. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Could you make it so we could see each other before I leave? Can you make arrangements for him to come here and take me somewhere? Just the two of us. Without the others getting in the way.
I will talk. I will try to talk to Caleb. I can't make any promises beyond that. You shouldn't have been talking to me in the first place, really. It was very reckless.
His heart is in the right place most of the time. At least when he's with me, I know it is. And I haven't felt that in a long time.
Right. Alright, well, leave it with me. I can't promise anything. I won't promise anything, but just leave it with me and I'll let you know.
Thank you. And with that, you probably spend the rest of this little first part of the evening checking on the others. Oscar is actually very busy writing by hand on like sheets of paper and notebooks and all of that. At some point he mentions that if it's possible for him to get like a typewriter or something, given that laptops are not an option. Laura is very aloof right now. She feels very distant from the others.
Okay.
As in Clarence and Oscar are sitting, as in Oscar is writing pages and pages, and Clarence seems to be proofreading, commenting. Laura seems to be in her corner with a book, and she's staring at the book. You notice she's not reading it. She's just in her own mind, it seems.
Does she seem worried or just
distant?
distracted?
Just distant.
Okay.
But that is sort of like the state of affairs in the HQ.
Okay.
Carl, you wake up to a message from your sister,
Right.
saying same place as last time. Ruben is
Okay.
watching.
If I could remember what that is. Yes, I'm sure I would remember where
It
we
was
went before.
Radisson Blue where she's staying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So also quite close to, like, it's in the center. So quite close to the to where you are in your haven, and not HQ, which is in the north of the city.
Yeah. No, I need to get there reasonably soon, but I needed to check in with her because I haven't the last few nights.
Yep.
And I know she can get up to all sorts of mischief.
You get up, you get in touch with her, and she said that she will be waiting for you downstairs in the restaurant. She'll be having dinner by the time you arrive.
Okay, I'll go and join her at dinner time.
And once you arrive, one person that will draw your eye, and it's mostly because of your auspex and your keen senses sometimes, is Ruben, the same ministry mariner that is keeping an eye on her. He's out in the street having an amazingly interesting chat with a lady. But you pass and he gives you, a sideways glance and sort of a tiny nod and continues. So even though he seems distracted, he actually isn't.
Yeah, I'll just nod surreptitiously at him as well.
Yeah.
So, I've seen you, but we don't need to talk.
Yeah.
Head in.
The moment you go in, you realize that Christine is sitting on one of the tables near that side of the street with the windows. On the other side, on the sidewalk, not 5 meters away, is Ruben.
Right. Okay, good. Well, that makes me feel like she's safe and also being watched. So that's good. Yeah. I'll go in and I will sit down opposite her.
Christine, your twin, is dressed very, it's in a very, she's sort of casual, smart casual in that kind of way. But her clothes are either great, like amazingly good quality brand or tailored. But she is the kind of clothing that once you get closer is when you realize, wow, the quality is amazing.
Yes.
She carries it with great, naturality, and she is eating. She's having normal dinner.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will sit down, and I imagine she probably has a bottle of wine.
Yes, she does.
If she does, I will pour myself a glass as I sit down, and say, Christine.
Carl, you wish to see me?
I just wanted to know how you are.
Well, it's been a little frustrating, if I'm honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been able to make much in the way of getting our finances sorted. Shortly after I was given everything I needed, it was taken away from me, and now I have to wait for specialized equipment to be sent my way.
Right.
But I do still need to engage in normal commerce. So I am using sometimes the system here, the computers of the hotel, to send simple, relevant, let's say not compromising emails. Giving instructions.
Well, we have holdings that are entirely above board. As long as you stay within that world, I can't see any problem.
Someone is handling those. I have a couple of PAs handling that. I'm afraid Angelique might want me with her until she chooses what to do with me.
Good.
So that means that I might be going to New York.
Mm-hmm.
But directly.
Well, that was always the plan, wasn't it? Or either New York
or Paris, yes. But I won't be going directly from Bristol Airport. I'm not going back to London. Neither Heathrow, no London, no nothing.
No. Good. There's also the other issue of your life. It's been some time since your mentor passed away, and it may be that you need something from me.
And for a moment, you hear the cutlery rest on the plate, and she holds onto the table and gives a deep breath. And you have seen it. The craving of the blood, the nervousness. Now you realize her forehead, even though she has put on very subtle, simple makeup and foundation, stottings of sweat. You don't know if it's because of the cravings or if because she's fearful. She says, I have it in hand.
You have it in hand?
I'm making arrangements to fly as soon as possible. And there are a number of flights that leave this weekend. I will have you know. I will meet with Angelique immediately.
I think it may be best if I give you some blood now to tide you over, I say, lowering my voice.
I think... I don't know. I can wait.
I don't think you can, looking at you.
And I think we're moving into the realm of social combat with poor Christine.
Okay.
So, would you... I think this is going to be a charisma plus persuasion roll from you, Carl.
Well, as I feel her resisting, I just turn on my presence.
Okay, you add a number of dice equal to your presence.
Okay.
To your pool.
Charisma plus persuasion.
Yes.
So. Okay. So. You see, so I just make a persuasion roll, don't I? And then add the bonuses.
Yep.
I think that's right.
That...
I don't know why Ray made. Oh, I've rolled charisma as well, but I only get 3 successes from 11 rolls.
Wow, 11 dice, and you got 3 successes.
I may use a willpower because then I get to roll 8 dice for my.
No, your willpower only allows you to re-roll up to 3 non-hunger dice.
Oh, only 3. Okay. Well, I'll do that.
Will you use that? Okay. So,
well, I have to do it now rather than when I know the result, do I?
Yes, before I tell you whether or not you were successful. Yeah.
Better do that then. Because it's family. It's important. Reroll. Where's the reroll thing?
Under willpower, go to WP reroll, and then when you hit it, it'll ask you how many dice you're rolling. And in your case, you can roll all 3.
Okay. Another one. 4 successes altogether.
Ooh. Okay. So you see her. She bites her lip, and you can hear, because of your other disciplines, you can hear a little bit of a scratching of her nails against the very beautiful varnished table. You take 1 superficial willpower damage. Would you wish to continue? Because you couldn't, you didn't manage to overpower her. So
okay.
Do you continue?
Sure, I'll continue to a second round if that's what we do.
This is going to be brutal.
I'll say to her, I think maybe we should take this upstairs.
Okay. Just repeat the roll, please.
Okay. So. I think.
Wow.
Well, that's better. 7 successes.
I imagine you're not using willpower for this one?
I don't think I'll bother.
No. You see her shoulders slump a little, her hands relax, and she just drops her head as she slowly nods. And she stands up and leads you to her hotel room.
Okay. Well, when we get there, I'll say to her, This is only for us, Christine. You are a member of the de Toro family. And so you need to take de Toro blood.
She reluctantly nods. Her will broken, the craving of the blood. She drinks from your wrist. Could you please make a rouse check?
Okay. Success.
Now Christine will not age. She will continue living after a fashion. Thanks to this.
Good. Well, that's the point, really. And I say, dear sister, you are now sated, I think, until you get to our cousin, my sire.
Yes.
Good. Now, I see no reason that you won't be getting on a plane this weekend. But if not, we can do this again. I do not want to do it again. I do not want there to be that kind of bond between us. We are siblings, and we have always been equals as much as adversaries sometimes, I know. But this goes beyond that.
I will let you know when I have my flight booked.
Good. And I will make inquiries as to whether we can find you some way of organizing your affairs properly.
They are your affairs as well. So yes.
Understood. All right. Well,
she turns a broken woman defeated and sits in the chair that is in the desk of her room, alone, as you depart.
Okay. Night.
Good night, Carl.
I'll head to the HQ.
Excellent. Janice.
Hello.
The night begins for you.
Well, I think I better spend some quality time with the community and see what kind of blood they've got going on these days, you know?
Are you looking for a specific resonance? I imagine that given the size of your herd, you get to pick.
I do.
Are you looking for something specific, or are you just winging it?
No, I don't think he's too... I mean, probably something more sociable than not, because he wants to be sociable later.
Something sandwing,
yeah,
perhaps. Okay.
I think. Maybe Scratch. Maybe I'll go find Scratch, see what he's up
Actually, if you're looking for sandwing, Grace would be a good call. She just received a necklace from Zane.
Well,
the ones
they're
that
obviously in the process of admiring that necklace.
She's thrilled that you are directly complimenting her for her necklace.
Yeah. Does she tell him that it comes from Zane?
Oh yeah. She's the one that tells you, oh, Shane made it for us, and she's so pleased because she now feels that she's here whenever she's not around.
I'll say, and it's not just a pretty necklace, it is a mark that you are connected now to others in the Children of Summer.
Yes. I feel it's so lovely that a kid like saying he's such a good lad, you know, and also Evelina has been helping, and Harry has been helping. Scratch even, he's been working like nonstop fixing those holes in the roof. Everybody pitches in, you know, and that's why I sometimes try and bake something and try and bring something. I mean, even your new your new friend Nanjizal. I haven't met her, but Zane told me that she was quite nice, a little, a strong character, but a very nice person. I think she plays the guitar. Zane mentioned.
Yes, I'm sure you remember when Zane first came here. He was not really the same man that he's becoming now.
Oh God, no! Oh no, that he was such a wreck. Oh no!
And yes, my new friend is full of promise, I would say.
Excellent.
I'm sure if she is treated well by all of you, she will soon blossom.
We will make her feel welcome. If she's part of the family, then that's the least we could do, right?
Exactly, of course.
Oh, I
realize I haven't spent
Sorry?
much time with you recently. Perhaps we could catch up a little more, and you can
tell
me what you've been doing regarding the house over these last few days.
Well, actually, let me show you, because it's easier, in your kitchen. And she leads the way, and she starts talking about she has been thinking. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She grabs you. She offers you her arm, so you walk to the kitchen, and she tells you how she's been thinking about changing the old oven, because it's kind of also a safety, health and safety issue. Getting a proper oven, probably like 2 ovens or separate things, like, because she wants to be able to bake some stuff here. Like if she brings everything ready, and then she just puts it here to bake, because then it'll be fresh and warm. But also, in doing that, she found a person that would be ideal to check the connections in the gas and the boiler. And that's when she's distracted, explaining all of these wonderful things that will be done with gas, which is something that you don't even want. That's why everything is broken. You don't want gas here, because gas burns.
Yeah.
But she's trying to make it sound sensible.
If she even mentions even once there's any kind of electrics or clocks or things, then he's not having any of that rubbish, just so you know.
Okay.
But yes, obviously when she's distracted,
you take
like any concerned member of the community, he will drink her blood.
Okay. How much are you drinking from Grace?
Does Grace look in good health?
Well, Grace is always very chatty and active, but it's not like she's like, it's the evening. So she's been working throughout the day.
I'll just take a sip.
Okay.
Just a sip.
Do you approach anyone else in the remaining time? It wouldn't take too long if it comes directly from your herd advantage. To feed from a separate member.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, to get me back down to 1.
Yeah. So yeah, probably scratch, and between the two of them, you would get a sanguine resonance. Excellent.
Well, feeling quite uplifted by this experience, he will make his way to the HQ. He'll be a bit more social, obviously, now that he's kind of made his peace with the guests. Is Matilda there when he gets there?
Yes. The moment you arrive, you see Matilda upstairs with 3 out of the 4 members of the refugees. Sorry.
Well, I'll bid them all good evening, but I will approach Matilda. And good evening.
How's it with you?
Good so far. Yes, very good. I was wondering, if you're not too busy, whether you might like to have a little walk.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's fine.
Good. Well, shall we?
Yeah. Laura perks up and says, like, could I go for a walk with you? I think on my own, but in your line of sight.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. And she disappears downstairs. By the time you reach the front door, she comes back up. She has a hat. She has a scarf. She has a long coat. And then she puts her hands in her pockets. And the moment you open the door, she starts walking. And she stays a good distance in front of you. But this is something that is becoming like commonplace. She likes to walk alone.
Cool. I imagine I've got the Duchess with me as well.
Yes.
So I'll kind of walk for a little bit, and then, unless Matilda says anything to...
I mean, after a while, she'd probably just say, so did you want to talk about last night? Or...
It struck me that not so long ago, I said something to you, and your response was that this wasn't your first rodeo. And made me realize that perhaps I had been a little patronizing. And also that, of course, I have no idea what kind of rodeos you have been on or not been on in the past. In fact, it strikes me I know not very much about you at all. So I thought it might be worthwhile, given that we are dealing with something of a crisis, that, well, we have a chance to have a talk while we are not fending for our lives or defending our borders or dealing with irascible guests.
Not that bad. No, but I agree. I mean, I feel bad we haven't really spoken much. I don't know much about you either. Beyond you inviting us into your home, which has been very kind. But no, I mean, what do you want to know?
Well, I'm not as adept as Carl at swimming the waters of court, but I understand that, well, many things are said about you amongst the kindred of Bristol. But it's, in my experience, a waste of time to listen to idle rumours and gossip. And so I thought I might come to you directly.
Well, thank you. I mean, most of it is silly and nonsensical, but it's sometimes fun to listen to, sometimes not. I mean, there are elements of truth to it. I wasn't always Anarch. That's no secret. And I wasn't always in Bristol. I'm fairly new. And I'm just trying to trying to settle in a city like anybody else is, really. I don't want to cause too much of a fuss.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, what about you? You're obviously not Bristol born.
No, it's true. I was not born here. But this is now the place that I consider home. It is the place I am setting down roots.
And you have lots of people you like and trust who live with you, by the looks of it. You have family, or your community of people.
Yes. Yes, I have many people I am connected to here.
Nanj seems pretty close to you.
Is that something you are curious about?
I'm curious. I suppose. I mean, she's not the type to put down roots, I don't think. She seems changed. She told me to talk to you about it, actually.
Did she?
She did.
Well, I do not think that people are the type to put down roots or not. I think it is a natural function, a natural part of being alive in any sense that we are, to want to connect to something, to be part of something, to feel like you are home. Is that not why you are here? To make a home?
I suppose. I feel I have in many ways. Don't feel like I'm searching for that as much as I used to.
Nanjizal and what happened with her, of course, is her business and not something that I would speak of in detail. If she wishes to tell you, then that is up to her. But I would say that many of our kind are lost, though they don't always realize it. And I helped Nanjizal find what she was looking for.
Well, I suppose as long as she's happy, then that's good. I mean, I do worry, and I don't mean any disrespect, but I'm always a little wary of people leading to other people to enlightenment. A certain path, a certain specific path of enlightenment. Is it always for their benefit, or is it for yours?
Tell me again how you do not mean disrespect.
I don't want to. I really don't. I want to understand. I do want to understand
Good.
what happened. Because something she was saying was very not like the Nanj I know.
Let me put this to you. Before you were embraced, if someone had told you that kindred were real and it was possible to live for hundreds and thousands of years, to do things that are far beyond the power of any mortal, would you have believed them?
No.
No. Well, there are many things that kindred do not believe and cannot believe until they have experienced them in some way. Nanjizal has had an experience that has allowed her to understand things she could not before. It is not entirely different to that. It is not something that I can tell you. And to be honest with you, Matilda, you do not seem the sort of person that is easily told things. You seem like the sort of person that seeks things yourself.
Won't argue with that.
Good. Honesty, truth, that is the first step. And curiosity. Curiosity is an admirable quality.
Do you have Nanjizal's best wishes at heart?
I wish to help Nanjizal. Yes.
Well, then we don't have a problem.
Do you expect me to give you any other kind of answer, even if I did not?
I suppose not.
I would say, Matilda, that you are in close proximity to us. If you believe I am mistreating Nanjizal or taking advantage of her in some way, I am sure you have the means to make yourself heard if you wish to protest such a thing. But I would put it to you that that is not the case, and that perhaps you are struck by the change in her and you are perhaps wondering about something yourself. I have yet to meet a kindred that does not have a lack somewhere in their soul.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I think anyone, kindred or not, is always looking for something.
Most of us, yes. Tell me, I see you wear a cross about your neck.
Yeah.
May I
That's
ask a question of faith to you?
It's more habit than anything now. It belonged to my mum. So it's
well, family must be honoured, of course.
it must, and you find family in different places. I suppose you can make family in craft.
Yes, Matilda. Yes, this is something I believe most strongly. You must understand. I had very little of my own family when I was a mortal here, and I had to find a family of my own. And later again, that family was lost to me, and so I value family very dearly. I consider Nanjizal to be family now. I wonder about your presence in the coterie. I wonder if perhaps one day we might consider each other family.
Perhaps one day. And as for your invitation to not to examine what's going on with Nanjizal, but to observe, and then perhaps I will. I mean, it seems like she underwent something extraordinary.
Yes.
And who am I to pretend that I'm not interested in that?
I do respect your honesty. It is difficult for people to be honest, I think, when they are kindred.
Yep.
And whilst I would not recommend such a thing in a court environment, those of us that share domain, I feel it is different.
I agree, and I'm very glad that despite, I know perhaps we haven't always seen eye to eye on many things, but I know it doesn't come from a place of you just wanting to say no to me for the sake of it. I think you have your morals and your stances and your ideas, and I respect that. Even if
I can be stubborn at times, and I have been stubborn recently. But Carl has been helpful in setting that straight, as have other friends of mine.
He's very good at that. He's quite the diplomat.
Yes. In social matters, he is without compare. And I consider myself fortunate to have him here.
Yeah. Thank you for this. I feel like I understand you more, and that's a good thing.
I hope that in years to come, you will come to understand me completely, Matilda.
Perhaps.
And as that conversation ends and potentially changes, potentially you just walk in silence, Laura still walks ahead of you. And at some point, when she just stops in a corner to wait for the light, to cross the street, she looks as if she's taking a deep breath and looking around. And you could swear, Matilda, that for a second, you see her smile. Nanjizal.
Yes.
It's the beginning.
Well, before you stop, I feel compelled to tell you that you need to throw a stain at me.
Sorry?
Because you need to throw a stain at me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I gave my word to Annie that I wouldn't tell her secret.
Oh. And that is sorry. Yes, I was looking at Chronicle tenets and not convictions.
Yes.
So
obviously I did not hold that.
Yeah, my word is my bond. Is
yes.
Your
yes, except when it comes to little girls with plushy sharks.
Doesn't apply. Do you have any other convictions that allow you to shield?
I can't remember what they are. So let's say no.
Well, the other one is not relevant.
There's one about
your tattoo, so you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So given that Annie is not a person that you have known for a long time, and also she's a completely different faction. You will get one stain, but it's just one. Had it been someone from your coterie or someone from your faction even, you would be risking, or if it was like an important promise and not just I'll stay quiet, it would have been 2, 3 like proper stain worthy. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's all right.
Because
Yeah,
because it's part of your convictions and not a clerical tenant. So
yeah,
nothing was off in my head.
Yeah, no.
So you wake up.
Yep.
Rusty is there.
Going down the docks with Rusty.
Yeah.
Firstly, so he can eat. But my plan, such as it exists, is that I will get together some of the people who are loyal to me at the docks.
Oh. So
you're find what his name is. Is it Damien? Or I can't remember his name. The Thin Blood. The guy who's the leader.
Oh, yes. That would be the things that you were mentioning, the dock workers.
So I'm going to get them to come with me because they're mortal.
Yes.
So I'm going to get them to come with me, and then I'm just going to beat the pee out of him.
No, it's Warren. Warren is
Warren. Okay, yes, Warren.
Is the one you had an altercation previously, and there is also Maeve, his sire.
Yes. But pretty similar, right? Whatever.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
You know of them.
Yes.
So yes.
So I need to make him understand that he's encroaching on my territory, and a good way to do this is if it hurts him to do so, because then he might not do it again.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
So you go to the docks. Rusty, you help him feed.
Yes.
But it's not long until word that you are around gets out, and all of a sudden you see Warren and Maeve come to where you are. He's gonna like.
Oh, if I see them, I'm walking up to them.
Okay.
Yeah. But in a purposeful way.
Yeah.
Shall we say confrontational? Yeah. So I'll say, I'll go, "Oi, Warren! Come here."
What are you doing here? Told you to get out of this business. And he starts walking to you, like, also very confrontationally.
I'll say, well, the thing about that is, this isn't where you do business, it's where I do business. And more than that, you don't got any right to turn over folks on my territory. So, how about you sling your hook before I sling it for you?
Look, you and your Pokemon can take it elsewhere. This is Anarch territory.
Okay.
And of course, Rusty turns and he shows his teeth. And of course, his gums and teeth are like sort of reddish color. And that's where he gets his nickname. He has like, also his face is very deformed. But he has like a big beanie that he pulls down and he's trying to hide it with a high collar coat. It's like,
okay.
What do you call me, you fucker?
I kick Warren right in the nuts. That's my opener for 10. Yeah.
Oh my god. It is down.
Yes.
Let me just
I'm not stopping there. I'm going to try and beat him up. But for narrative purposes.
Let me just start with the basic strength plus brawl check. You know. Ooh. Oh, you hit him?
Good
you hit him.
me.
It's just enough to get him to get the fight started.
Okay.
Are you looking for anything in particular, or is this just a rumble, like a normal fist fight?
So basically my goal here is to get him to understand that I don't want him around here. My goal is not to kill him, or otherwise cause too much trouble. But basically I want him to be afraid to come back here.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask for, instead of running combat, for all the people that's gonna jump, because he also has some mortals on his side.
Yes.
On his side.
I mean, that's sort of why I invited my mortals.
Yeah. This looks like proper dock works. Get out of my turf.
Yeah.
But there is also sort of like a kindred element to the mortal element, because the people who do business with you want to do business here, and they are being pushed by the people they are doing business with. You know.
If at any time that he or his sire do anything that could in any way be classed as a breach of the Masquerade, I will subdue them and drag them off to Ashton Court.
Well, the thing is that one of the things that you regret the most is that they are insanely unlikely to do that.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
because they're thin bloods, and it's not like they have like weird powers that would allow them to breach the Masquerade.
Obviously, I'm not going to use my weird powers
Okay.
unless I lose my shit. Yeah, but yes, I mean, in terms of if they yeah, I mean, if it happens.
Okay, I think what we're gonna do is a sort of social / physical combat in which you're gonna go. Your roles are going to be strength plus intimidation.
Yep.
And he's probably going to reciprocate either physically or socially.
Yep.
And you decide we're gonna do it until you choose to stop or he chooses to stop. So hopefully it'll be a short affair mainly.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a blood search and rouse the blood for your strength plus intimidation check?
Yes.
Is this a time to talk about the exciting new blood surge rules?
This
I don't think so.
is.
I was talking to Carl.
No, this is amazing. Okay, thank you very much, Peter, for the short segue. This is something that came last week. And if you have read our blog post, which was published yesterday, you will know that World of Darkness and Paradox Interactive have brought an early Christmas by releasing the V5 Companion, which includes rules on playing the Ravnost, Lubri, Shemitzi clans, and also rules on playing mortals or ghouls and things like that. Additional discipline powers, mostly related to the 3 clans that I have mentioned, but also interesting stuff that you can find. Some erratas and some ideas that they've had. And one of them, the one that is relevant for this, well, go check it out. Go worlddarkness.punto. That's it's the way you say it in Spanish. worlddarkness.com/news. And it'll be the first one. You'll have to create a Paradox Interactive account, and you will be downloading it. It is free to download. It is a gift, literally a gift to the fans. So make sure to show also appreciation for the publishers and the content creators. They have said something that I have always been like sort of agreeing with regards of blood surges. When you rouse the blood to get extra dice for your actions. And when you're a neonate with like a blood potency of 1 or 2, getting like a single die feels like meh. So what they did is the range of dice that you can get from a blood surge, instead of going from 0 for a thin blood to 5 for like a disgusting elder, it's moved from 1 to 6. So now thin bloods have the ability to rouse for 1 die, but neonates, like our coterie, whenever they do a blood surge, they get to add 2 dice to their rolls if they are at blood potency 1 and 2, and then 3 dice at blood potency 3 and 4, and so on and so forth. This does come at a price, though. In the same way, your blood is stronger, and it's now represented mechanically by stronger blood surges. Your clan bane is also stronger. A clan bane of 1 felt very meh, but now blood potency 1 neonates and 2 exhibit a bane severity 2 level. Bane severity goes all the way to 6 now, and that allows Thin Bloods with the disadvantage that they have the bane of their clan to show it at 1, which is like a diminished thing. So just to make things clear, whenever Carl wishes to use disciplines in a setting that he finds less than pleasingly aesthetic, he will have a 2-die penalty instead of a 1-die penalty. Nanjizal will be fried with additional.
I mean, I'll just be fried worse, right?
Yeah, you will be fried worse with more aggravated willpower, but also like bright lights will be messing with you.
Yeah.
Matilda will have to spend 2 willpower if she wishes to feed outside of her clan preference. And for those of you, go and check the companion, because now it'll be very, very difficult for Janus not to sleep in the place he feels grounded, or with the people he feels grounded, as per the new rules for the Shmitzi Bane curse. So he will gain 2 instead of 1 willpower damage whenever he is away from that which grants him. So now going back to this moment in the docks, does Nanjizal wishes to call for a blood surge? Because now it does make a massive difference.
I'm not kidding you. He needs a towing, so I'm going to use my blood. Yeah.
Yeah, because also this is going to be something that you can feel the difference between a neonate and a Thin Blood. Okay, so this is going to be strength
between us.
Yeah, strength plus intimidation, and you will get an extra 2 dice for your blood surge, but also you will be rousing. Do you wish to reroll? You have so far only 2 successes on your first roll. Mind you. Yeah. One of your successes is a 10 on a hunger die, so there is the possibility of a messy critical.
Yep, spend some willpower.
Okay.
I'm committed to this course of action.
I'm having flashbacks to last session.
So it'll be fine.
You have enough non-hunger die to reroll all 3. So that makes it 4, 5, 6 successes, messy critical.
Nice.
Warren, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
He won't.
Now let me roll for poor Warren, who's gonna suffer. Well, who is suffering already.
Don't come round it.
The wrath of the Nanjizal.
Yeah. Don't make me look like a twat in front of my friends.
No, don't worry. He'll try to reroll.
Yeah.
For him, it's also a matter of,
Yes, exactly. I guess this is a problem when neither of you can row back, right?
Yeah. This is. Okay, so first things first. I think this is going to be like a very interesting scenario in which, oh my god, you had enough successes. So while you're fighting, you literally you kick him in the nuts. He rises, and then he staggers back. And when you're gonna hit him, you see Maeve approach you and headbutts you, and then everything starts like going crazy. People throwing punches and everything. Warren goes at you, and you manage to clock him once in the face to sort of get him out of balance, and you throw a kick. He moves his leg. You kick him on the knee, and you bend it backwards, immediately breaking the bone and making a loud popping crack that also brings other people to a stop. So your social skills your intimidation is working physically. Yeah. But you have now a lot of people going, what the fuck? It's like you're taking it a little too far, because that guy, that's a hospital. That has to be, that's something that has to be dealt with the hospital. It is kind of weird. You will take 1 willpower damage, and 1 superficial willpower, one superficial willpower and 1 superficial physical damage, because there's too many punches and I'm not going to roll them all.
Yes, it's fine, yeah. It's fine.
But Warren is carried out of the place together with some of his friends. And you don't know if you have completely intimidated him out of the place, but he's definitely not coming back in a while. At least until it is reasonable enough for him to show his face around here without a cast on his leg. So that's going to buy you months. At worst case scenario, it buys you days, because he's a thin blood. He will need time to heal. He can use, probably, you don't know if he can use blood to heal. Probably not.
So I'll turn to Rusty.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, I told you it was my turf. You can come around here now.
Yeah.
You're going to be back for a bit.
When you see Rusty also has slightly bloody knuckles. He was going to town on one of the guys that you assume was the one who went hardest on him the previous night. But everybody, actually, your own guys start breaking up the fight. It's like, stop it. We made our point. They're leaving. Let them leave,
Yeah.
But it is...
I'll make a point of thanking the guys who were with me.
Yeah.
And, and I will, assuming that I'm not needed for anything else, I'll spend like a bit of time there, just, with them, and then I'll leave and head to the HQ.
Okay. Cool. Rusty does tell you, thanks.
No worries, mate, You've got to look after your own, haven't you?
It's okay. I owe you one. When you need me, I'll be there.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. When you get to the HQ...
To the HQ.
Sorry?
Begin the long walk to the HQ. No, I'll get a cab.
You can call Lug.
Call Lug, yes. Come on, Lug. Try me to the HQ.
Okay, you will need to spend another willpower just to get over the bridge.
Yeah.
Just letting you know, you're in...
I'm on willpower 1, aren't I?
No, 2.
2, okay. No, didn't you say I took a 1 superficial willpower damage?
Yes.
So the 5 plus 1 to cross the river.
Yes.
I got a willpower of 3, haven't I?
4.
Oh, okay.
I mean, your composure might be 1, but your resolve is 3.
I'm annoyed by the fact that I've even had to do this. So by the time I get to the HQ, I won't have probably bothered to tidy myself up at all.
No, you probably have some blood from someone, maybe bruises or whatever, or what could constitute bruises.
Yeah.
When you arrive, the only person, the only member of the coterie that is there is Carl. He's upstairs sitting with Oscar and Clarence. Well, I don't know yet. Carl, when you arrive, Laura is not in.
Right.
And they let you know that Matilda and Janus went out for a walk, and Laura joined them.
All right. Well, as far as I know, last time we left I was leaving my sister.
You were leaving your sister, going to HQ.
Yeah, going to HQ.
By the time you arrive to HQ,
so I just have another few words with her to the purposes of your family, your.
Oh yeah. She's just like, she takes it and then you leave.
And then when I get there, my main object really is to talk to Caleb, because I know that it's a Caleb night tonight.
Yes.
When I spoke to Annie,
she
said that Caleb would be coming, and we need to talk to Caleb about his giving her a phone and using it. So that's my main. I think we discussed that last time, didn't we?
Yes,
that we needed to talk to Caleb.
When
Caleb
arrives, when you arrive,
when Nanj arrives.
Oh, Nanj will not arrive for a while. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You did this.
Oh, okay.
You had this conversation with Christine earlier.
Well, the only thing I need to do is get down the docks, but it seems like there won't be anybody there.
No, when you get to you have a chat with Christine. Once you do that, you go to HQ.
Yeah.
By the time you reach HQ, Matilda and Janus are not there. They have gone out for a walk. Nanjizal has not shown up, and Caleb.
Is anyone there at all then?
Yes. Annie is downstairs, looking very miserable, or bored, or both. And Clarence and Oscar. You see Oscar writing a lot of stuff in papers, and Clarence helping him, probably with some proofreading. For what you gather, it looks like as if he were preparing a CV and having Clarence help him. He's doing like an account of his things that he has done in pro of the faction and evidence pushed forward that he's not someone to be feared of or whatever. You understand that the Tremere have a very rigid systems of acceptance, so this looks like one of those processes.
Yeah, fine. Well, I'll I'll ask if they need me to help then.
Yeah, probably.
I can help them, but I probably should talk to Annie if she's looking like she's
she's just looking like bored and hugging her plushie. Caleb does arrive early though. He does arrive early or earlier than expected.
All right, and I'm still the only one there when he does arrive.
No, he will arrive shortly after you.
Okay, all right. Well, so I'm the only. I'm the only member of our coterie of the players who's there when he arrives. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll say, Caleb, please come inside before you take everybody away with you.
Yes. You wish to speak in the car?
I wish to speak in the house.
But Annie and the others are in the house, and I would rather if this remained between us.
Very well. We will go into your car then.
And he starts driving around the area. He says, "Okay. Let me apologize first and foremost. I know that was reckless, and
it was dangerous. It was more than reckless. It put us all in danger. We take our duty to our guests very seriously. And not only to our guests, our duty to our faction. We have been given instructions that we are not to use electronic devices. There is no excuse for this.
Please don't tell my sire. I'll owe you a boon for it. Who else knows?
You won't just owe me a boon. You will owe the entire coterie a major boon.
Everyone knows?
Everybody knows.
For a second there, he pulls over. And you can hear the leather on the steering wheel creak. How does that work? How do I will not give you 4 major boons. Can I owe you collectively as an inter-faction coterie a boon? That's something that is possible.
It is important that you owe me a boon as a member of the Camarilla, but it was also important that you owe the Anarchs and the Library and the Autarchis a boon as well, because you have put the entire city at risk.
Fine. It's a major boon, so I think we will have to go through the Lord Keeper. I don't know how that works. How do I owe a coterie a boon?
We can talk to them. I'm sure they can cook something up for us. This is unprecedented. It is unprecedented that the capital of this country has fallen, and that somebody like you, in a position of some power in this city, should be so stupid, reckless, and foolish as to let our doings be heard by our possible enemies. We don't know how they work. We just know that they have an adeptness of using electronic devices. Everything we have said may have been heard.
I get your point. That's enough. You see him almost lose his shit at you telling him off. He's still a Ventru, and this still counts as disrespect. He's still the child of a primogen. He still had some willpower, so he did not fail his friendship check.
Okay. Well, I'll say I think it's time you take us back. And,
only one condition.
And what's that?
It is you who talks to the library on this, not Matilda. Not the Anarchs. Not especially one that knows about the law and will screw us any chance she gets at screwing our faction. And not Nanjizal. She's a smuggler, for crying out loud. You talk to the library.
I always enjoy talking to Hubert. It'll be a pleasure.
He makes a U-turn. Someone's, you can hear someone yelling, "You wanker!" or something like that. And he heads to the HQ. Yeah. He heads to the HQ, where he will take a moment after you leave the car. Gets out of the car. Now you see that he has gone with Blush of Health.
Yeah.
And says, "Well, I'm ready to take them then."
Good. I just a point of order, Carlos. If you look at my sheet from
yes,
from the beginning of the session, my desire is get Caleb.
Oh yes. You recover the one willpower that you lost on that tie with your sister.
Think of something else to do now. Right. Well, I'll get out of the car completely composed, of course, and I will say to Annie, "You'll be glad to hear Caleb's here to take you somewhere interesting."
Her face lights up like a pink dawn, and she rushes upstairs with a fade away. "Thank you, Carl," and shows up at the door. And that is when we're gonna have a break.
Okay.
So, first of all, again, thank you to our resident tech ghoul, Mitch. He's always awesome, and he always makes my life easier by getting everything sorted and ready. Thank you very much to our patrons for being there with us and for having the patience that you always have. Thanks again to Sam for being patient with me. I finally sent the recap in time-ish. Just don't let's not go over that. Thanks to you, our lovely viewers and listeners, because always you are supporting us, and we couldn't do this without you. Big shout out again to World of Darkness and Paradox Interactive. I think what they did is it says a lot that they have gone through the effort of creating something for the community and just to give it away because of the feedback, the enormous feedback and support that they have received. And also all the criticism, good and bad. I think as industry, part of the gaming industry, I think they did something very, very nice and lovely for their supporters and fans and all people who like their games. So I think it's worth mentioning both the good and the bad, and this was definitely very good. Any of you guys have any shout outs that you would like to make?
No.
Carlos is amazing.
No.
Yes,
Carlos,
yes. That's an amazing.
Yes, thank you, Carlos.
Amazing.
Thank you. I feel very humbled that it came.
I cannot describe how amazing it is.
Yeah.
I'd like to wish all our viewers and listeners a merry Yuletide, of course.
Yeah. This is our Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Carl feels very Christmassy today, just having huge arguments with people so far.
Most Christmas focus of all the characters.
Joy.
Don't worry, there will be a present at the end of the episode.
Very good.
It's from the storyteller to the audience. So you will probably not like it, my dear players. But regardless, we will go now. Sorry, what?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he's tying us all up in a bow.
Yeah.
Season 1, episode 8.
All my willpower by the end of the episode will be fine.
No, don't worry. We're gonna do a time jump. We're gonna come back in 2020. It's gonna be the year of the pandemic. Good luck feeding or something like that. I'll have to think of something.
Everybody's in.
Sorry,
it's fine.
Yanis has got the biggest bubble. He'll be fine.
So it's
tier 1.
Tier 1. So it's almost 35 past 8. So shall we come back in 15 minutes to say 10 to 9? So we
Sounds
will be
good.
back in 15 minutes. Either way, you will be seeing us. So see you at 10 to 9 p.m. British time, 10 to 10 if you're in Europe, and I will not do any more calculations. See you in 15. Ting.
Bye.
Hello and welcome back for part 2 of the season finale of Blood on the Severn. And there was a question posed, I believe it was in chat, around compulsions. So, as I mentioned before, the companion, the World of Darkness companion came out. And one of the things that they have considered to use as a rule is to have compulsions be also an alternative for when someone scores a messy critical, but an actual outcome of the beast coming out is inappropriate. And the example they use, I think, is quite clever. Imagine that you are trying to be really sneaky and have a messy critical. You still succeed at the task, and you do so with a critical. So penalizing someone for having a massively good, in a very isolated scenario with something that is completely unrelated doesn't feel right sometimes. So, for example, if they're sitting down making like a perception sort of awareness check and have a messy critical, so they suggest that you could also have the beast manifest with a type of compulsion, either clan compulsion or a normal compulsions that you can find in the book. Now, that would have been a really interesting way for me to handle Nanjizal's critical success last session when she did the sneaking in. She had a critical success. The way I did it was, okay, you managed to sneak in and you will have the time to feed, but at some point the beast will show up. You will break a shelf, you will make a ruckus, someone will find out. So it's going to be a short-lived thing. You critically succeed, you get where you want to go, but it's not going to be for a long term. I could have used the compulsion then, was not aware of that being an optional rule because the companion hadn't come out. And now she just had a messy critical in the middle of a fight that she wanted to keep pretty much looking like a brawl. And she had a messy critical in which she turned a brawl into assault with bodily harm in the presence of other mortals. So the police can be involved, charges can be pressed. It is, had it not been a thin blood, but someone who can, heal that fracture or that leg, it could have been a lot more threatening to the Masquerade. So that's how I decided to have an actual messy critical in the fight, escalating things from a normal brawl, which was what Nanjizal wanted, to something that could have potentially legal repercussions, instead of just assigning a compulsion, because I didn't think it was the right call. Now, we come back and have, by the time Janus and Matilda get back to the HQ, Nanjizal would have already arrived as well, looking like she just came from a brawl, from a fight. None of the of your guests are around. None of the refugees are there. Caleb just left, and Carl has been pretty much waiting for you there.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Sorry, he's late. I was.
Well, you did. You look like you've been in a fight, but
yeah, well,
that's normal for you sometimes. I imagine you won.
Was back chatting me.
Oh,
they ain't doing that anymore.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Excellent.
When you say they aren't doing that anymore, do you mean? Or what do you mean?
Well, you mean I made my point, didn't I?
Yeah, but like
carried out on a stretcher and they blue lighted him to save me, didn't they?
Yes, that'd do it.
So he is injured
Right.
and has been taught a lesson, but is still breathing.
Yeah, his legs just ran the wrong way, is all.
Ah, I understand.
But that's what happens when people invade your turf, like he invaded my turf.
Yes.
And he said that weren't the way it was, so I just made him understand it was.
Good.
I mean, it's not actually.
It's up in Anarch though, Matty, so you should know about it. But they're only thin bloods.
All right, but so it was an area on the docks.
Well, my territory, yeah.
But it's not. But it is and it isn't. You know that.
No, that ain't the way it is.
It's contested.
Do you know what? Someone's written down on a piece of paper one thing. That's not the way it is in practice. And besides, I gave him plenty of warning, lots of times in a row. Then he came round, and then he beat the piss out of Rusty last night. I got back to the Avon. Rusty's bleeding all over the place. Points out that he's done it. So what am I supposed to do this morning?
Well,
Not go down there and give him a punch in the mouth?
Then I could have gone to Ashton Court, and then someone else could have given him a bollocking rather than you.
What, do you think I want someone else giving him a bollocking? No, I want to do it myself, don't I?
Alright.
What sort of a message did it send if I send other people to beat him up for me?
They wouldn't have actually beaten up.
Well, exactly.
So he's in hospital now?
Do you know where he went? They dragged him off, didn't they?
Did anyone see?
Well, I mean... Sorry. I mean, there was...
oh my god.
Well, there was a lot of us, right? It was a brawl, wasn't it?
For fuck's sake.
What? They were mostly mortals. Apart from the film.
That's great. Amazing. Wonderful.
What do you mean? There weren't no problems. No one saw nothing. What happened was... he got mad.
What happened?
I punched him in the balls. Then a fight broke out. Then I broke his leg. And after that, his sire dragged him off someplace. But I'll tell you what, he's not coming back round, is he?
Not for a while, it sounds like.
Exactly.
Good work.
And more importantly, Rusty has been avenged.
Great. As long as Rusty's avenged.
Oi! That's my expert you're talking about.
Okay, alright. I'm just saying it's not the best time to be picking a fight.
Maybe it's not, but it's not the best time to backchat me either, is it?
Alright.
Telling you.
That's done.
Anyway, I deal with my own problems, and I dealt with this problem. I'm not going to hear anything else about it. So there must be something else one of you has done that's more interesting than this.
I have spoken to our friend Caleb.
Oh, that twat! What did he say?
Well, he didn't do much of the talking, to be honest.
Oh, no?
No. I've arranged because of his idiocy. I have said that we wouldn't tell Bassi, his sire, what he did. However, he would owe the coterie, all of us in the coterie, specifically the coterie, a major boon for this.
That is cracking, Carl. Nice one.
Great.
He weren't no happy about that, was he?
That's amazing.
Yes, I also.
I win a major boon to an Anarch. There's something deeply satisfying about that, isn't there?
Well, yes, though in truth, he owes a major boon to this coterie.
That's correct. I felt that it was important that. I felt he probably owed a major boon to the entire city for being an idiot, but
I agree.
I felt that probably just this coterie would do.
Poor Caleb.
I mean,
Thank you, Carl. I had a word with Annie.
Well done, Carl. Well done.
that was
Annie asked if she could have some rendezvous with Caleb.
What?
Yeah.
Him and her?
Yeah.
Well, they're off now at the moment. They've just taken off in their car with the others.
Yeah, I was thinking of going to Caleb and saying, well, perhaps could have your rendezvous for a major boon, but...
How old is she?
Sorry?
How old is she? She's only just got made, didn't she?
Do you mean, like, immortally or mortally?
Yeah, I mean she only just got turned.
Yes,
So she's
is
how
new
old?
to this life.
Yeah, but how old is she?
You mean how long has she been in this
I mean,
state?
if he is in the back of the car fucking her, yeah, how old is she? That's what I mean.
Well, I think she's an adult.
What, an adult that carries around a cuddly toy shark?
She's a Malkavian adult.
I can't believe you all think this is okay, but if you do, so be it.
It is clear that he
There's
does
a
not
difference.
have her best interests at heart.
Agreed.
But there's a difference between her making us looking after her and us making her choices for her.
Yes, that
No
is
one's
true.
making choices for her. In fact, I had a conversation with her the other day in which I told her exactly that she should make her own choices.
Well, that's what she's doing with
Likewise.
Caleb.
Yeah, but he's a tosser.
Well, yes, I agree completely. But it's her choice.
It doesn't matter at the end of the day because she's leaving tomorrow or the day after. She told me.
What? She told me she wasn't leaving.
She's going up to Edinburgh. I
She
imagine
told me
being
she wasn't
busted for a
going to it.
phone has maybe affected her willingness to stay.
Well,
Well, it is her choice.
it was the right call. I mean, telling you about the phone was the right call.
It was. It has ended up as well as it can, really. I was tempted to tell Abassi, but I'm not that kind of snitch, to be honest. I thought we could deal with it in-house, have Caleb owing us a boon, and have the name of the coterie not besmirched by the fact that we allowed this to happen.
If you gave your
I
word,
agree.
we weren't going to tell him, then we can't tell him.
We're not going to tell him. However, the negotiation of the major boon and what a coterie major boon means, I have to do. I did tell Caleb that I would do that rather than any of you, although I was tempted to stipulate that Matilda would have to go. But no, I can do that if you let me
Sounds
know.
pretty sensible to me.
Particularly you, Yanis, if you let me know how we can sort this out to our best advantage.
Well, it's an interesting thing having a boon shared between all of us. It would seem to me the
Yes.
obvious use of such a thing will be something that benefits the domain as a whole.
Quite.
For example-
were we to call it in, it would be for the
Yes,
defense
yes.
of the domain, or it would be for, you know, if the domain was in danger of some description, then he would help us.
Yes.
They would
But
all have to talk
so a soldier, willing or unwilling, is good. But I'm happy to hold it over his head for some time, to be honest.
Good. Perhaps it will teach him something.
I hope so.
Am I right in thinking?
Naj, I was just wondering. Matilda and I were supposed to go down to the docks to meet an Anarch I think there's little point in this now.
There's no one
There's
left in the
unlikely to be
docks
any
now.
annex at the docks, I would think.
No, it was only a couple of them, and
Oh,
now
okay.
they're not there, are they? So
Right.
any other annex you're meeting down there is fine.
Carl, I know Ruby. I can get in touch with her and we can.
I know
Oh,
Ruby.
okay, good.
What?
I know Ruby.
How do you know Ruby?
I told
Wait.
you.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah, you did. Sorry.
I had a chat with her after a mate passed away.
Yeah.
Just a little thing on this boom with Caleb. His Tsar is Obasi, right?
Yes.
So if he carks it, is it Obasi that takes over the major boom?
Well, I don't know.
I think that's how it works.
I believe that is how it
Yeah,
works.
I do think so.
Just worth keeping in mind, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of thing isn't something that we do.
I'm not saying we should do
murdering
it, I'm just
other
saying
vampires.
I know, but if it, I mean, it's fair enough. It's a good point.
It is a good point. However, we'll just have to see what happens with that. Really.
Right.
I think we should be, happy with little victories at this stage.
I'm
Pretty
not
big victory, Carl.
suggesting, I'm not suggesting we knock him off, to be clear. I'm just saying it's worth
Just
knowing.
saying.
If you weren't
You're just,
missing,
I
it
know
would
you.
be-
You're just saying keep putting him in harm's way. That's what you're saying. That's all.
Nan's just saying put him in a box.
Well, yeah, but the box is safe though. That's
I mean, if we put all these people in a box, we wouldn't be in anything like the kind of trouble we're in now, would we? Just saying.
no, we'd just be in
We'd be in
boxes.
other trouble.
Okay, so what are your plans for the rest of the evening? Do you have anything planned? To like individually, I do remember Matilda having an encounter that she needed to take.
I need
for it
to
to take
go
place?
see Christine. So depending on what the other members of the coterie want to do, then
Well, I'll probably talk to them about what happened between me and Christine. I would have thought.
Oh.
I was going to bring that up, but
I mean,
if you're going to bring it up in the conversation now that the coterie is together and in
Yeah.
HQ with no guest where you can talk freely, then go ahead.
yeah, no, I did say I had to see my sister initially, but then we just talked about Caleb. Yeah. So I'll probably say, I also saw my lovely sister, so that was pleasant as ever.
Is she doing all right?
Well, she is a ghoul, and the previous member of our family who was looking after that department for her was dead. So I have decided to step into the breach. Something I should probably let the Camarilla know. That
That sounds all right.
So you-
she I guess legally she's currently my ghoul, but I mean I've only given her blood once, and I don't think that beyond our bond as twins, I don't think she will be particularly beholden to me. So I just need to register that. I should imagine. So I thought I'd tell you what had happened.
Is
Makes sense,
she
yeah.
leaving? Is she leaving soon?
She's leaving, yeah, but when I saw her, she was very, I think jonesing is what they say, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what they say.
And I didn't really trust her not to
Oh.
find an alternative source. So, yes,
It's
it is
worth
important.
knowing
It
that-
is important that my family's affairs remain within my family and within my clan and within my faction. I'm sure you'd feel the same.
Alright. Makes sense. I always found that I need to make sure Lug stays well topped up too, so I ain't surprised to what you're saying.
No. However, she was looking for some sort of safe computer financials sort of.
Want me to sort something out?
Yes, that
Okay.
would be good if you can source anything for her that would be
Sure I
safe.
can. Sure I can.
That would be very.
Now-
Oh wait. Do you need to do stuff on the internet?
Well, she needs to look after our affairs, our family's affairs.
Yeah, what does that mean? Does that mean she needs to do stuff on the internet?
I think so. Yes.
Right.
And
okay.
I know that there is a problem with the internet at the moment, so it would need to be secure, or it needs to be. I'm sure
I
you and
will
Teach would know
see what
how
I
these
can
things
do.
work.
See what I can do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Can I
Nanjizal,
understand that you will be the two of you, Matilda and Carl, will be carrying out some investigations into this business of diablerie occurring on our soil.
Yes, and the fact that the two murders that have occurred recently in the city may or may not be linked, as I discovered from that late night phone call a couple of days ago.
For it will not be long before, well, those in the city in more senior positions will expect answers from us as to what is happening. I think it will be unwise not to have any.
No,
Quite.
I agree.
What's the other routes of investigation then? Because was Oscar going to talk to someone about?
Well, he could, but only in exchange for a boon.
What's the other routes of investigation open to us though?
Well, the answer that we have at the moment is obviously that it's Roger Smith, and I don't really want to go to the prince and say, it's Roger Smith. Hey, everyone. I think this would not go well unless we had major proof of this beyond a shared vision between.
So I think I put out some feelers, didn't I, night or so ago, to find out where Jonathan had been spending his time in the run-up to this. I ain't got nothing back yet. So I'll go back to my contacts when I ask for this computer and find out if there's anything to know.
And we should talk to Ruby, because if these two deaths are linked, then solving one will solve the other, or at least it'll lead towards solving the other, I would hope.
Might give her some peace of mind too if she knows what I'm.
But give her peace of mind if she knows that we're looking into it as well, so she doesn't feel abandoned. I can ask my Anarch friends as well and just see whether they've seen Roger, whether he's been acting strangely.
I still don't think it's outside the realm of possibility just someone masquerading as him.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
But that's why I want to know who Jonathan was in touch with, what enemies he had, that sort of thing.
Well, so that's our plans then. We should head to see Ruby.
And I will look into those two things, Carlos. And if I have an opportunity, I will go visit Hannah, but that doesn't need to be today.
Okay. So let me get things straight. You want to talk to? Well, wouldn't you want to talk to John Brotherhood because he's the one for your conviction?
So I want to talk to Hannah.
Oh, you want to talk to Hannah? Okay.
I want to talk to Hannah because I've had the magical healing powers of water, and I want her to experience this.
Okay.
But so that's a separate thing. But otherwise than that, I want to follow up the leads I sent out last time by Jonathan. And also sort out a computer for Carl.
Okay, that'll take you the rest of the evening.
That's fine. Yep.
Sure thing. Yanis?
So I think because this obviously happened within our domain. So what he's going to do is he's going to take the Duchess for a walk around the area where the diablerie happened. Because we've got there's all kinds of dog walkers and people in the domain that Yanis chats to on his little trots. And he's going to see if any of them saw these people. Because obviously he knows the direction they came in and out of the domain roughly. He's going to see if anybody saw anybody and see if he can get like an idea of what they look like. Or, I appreciate it's a few nights ago, but he'll basically try and handle things that way.
Okay. And Carl?
See Ruby first.
Okay.
And then be free and easy.
Okay. Matilda?
Likewise, and then
I'd like to leave a message with Caleb when he comes back, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd also like to be there for when Caleb comes back if there's a way for.
You know that it will be at the end of the evening.
At the end of the evening, yeah.
Like at
we're going to do
3:34, something like that.
Yeah.
So you have the chance to talk to Ruby, the both of you, and then go your separate ways and meet rendezvous.
Whether I do it through Caleb or not, I need to get a message to my primogen that I kind of have a temporary ghoul.
Okay.
I doubt that Janusz will have the time to go there and back because he's not going to be taking a car unless Matilda's driving him. But if he is back for when Caleb's there, he would like to be there.
Yeah, he's probably going to be back. I mean, it's
You just want to be there to gloat.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. It's exactly what we do.
I don't want to miss that party if I can avoid it.
Yeah, it's a good party.
Cool. It's going to be... So basically, if you have a short chat about it, it'll be plenty of time for Janusz to go and come back. For Nanjizal to go do her stuff and come back, because all you have to do is be there by around 3:34 in the morning, and it's still before midnight, so everybody has a chance. Then Josh and Alice can have Carl and Matilda talk to Ruby, and then Carl can talk to the Primogen. Like, everything is doable within this night, so let's get it done. Janusz, you start walking, and you are with the Duchess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to make a... This is gonna be an interesting one. Can you do an investigation?
Yeah.
It would be a resolve plus investigation. Alternatively, you could do a resolve plus animalism roll, and you are not doing the like. If you do it through animalism, it's mostly getting the Duchess to familiarize with the sense.
You mean animal, Ken?
No, animalism.
Okay.
Because you're going to be giving her instructions, and you're going to use your Bond Famulus power through it.
Well,
you could use animal chem as well, because you're not going to do much more than that. If you're engaging with the people and what you want is verbal, like confirmation of the others, I think it's going to have to be resolved with etiquette or investigation.
I think I'm going to go with people. So I will go with etiquette and resolve.
Okay.
And
are you rousing the blood?
Do we get the Lien dice on this?
Sorry?
Do we get the Lien dice?
Yes,
on this?
you do. You get the Lien dice. You get 2 dice because you have Lien 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So that's one of the many beautiful things that you have for your domain. It's Lien, so you can engage with people in it and get further information. So yes, go ahead.
That's the community theatre. You see, kids, it's a good thing.
Okay, are you using willpower to re-roll? You have exactly 3 dice that have not come up as successes.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So willpower reroll.
There are many reasons why not. I mean, it reduces your maximum willpower. It's easy for you to go into frenzy. 5 successes. Okay. You do have conversations with people, and someone mentions, especially neighborhood watch people, other neighbors mention that they have heard
some
about
of the other kind of curtain twitchy old folk, right? And all the people that kind of have been here a long time and get a bit funny when they see someone they don't know coming through. Those.
And what they say is that they saw someone with a suit that night. But it was weird because they said that, like, that is the night that apparently there was like this skeleton prank, and that it was the thing when you hear the story back, it's basically how Nanjizal found out that there was something fishy through the neighborhood watch. But this has been, I mean, if this were a steak, they added salt and pepper and herbs. It has been spiced up. So it's like, oh no, they were doing this very lifelike ghost prank, moving stuff and scaring people, but apparently it was like a drug deal gone wrong. Like, you don't know how it got to that point. It's the rumor mill, I guess. But the only thing is that there is this mentioning of someone who's not from around the area who's looking like not like Jonathan Fowler. The description you get is not Jonathan. Jonathan actually looked like a man well in his 50s. But for a younger man.
Does this description fit the description of Roger Smith?
Well, it's a young man, well dressed. No one is giving you like a physical description. Of course, yeah, dark hair, a little bit of a stubble.
Do they give me a sense of like ethnicity or
White.
you know?
That's like because is like curtain pullers that are like watching, and then they see someone with dark hair, maybe a stubble, that they're white with a nice suit or nice clothes walking. Well,
I'll get
around the area
because I don't think I've heard from the visionaries like the specific details about what they were wearing. I just heard that it was Roger Smith. So if I'm going to find out like what I can about, say, the color of the suit or the color, or whether the hair was long or short, those kind of things, and then I'll talk to Carl and see if it matches his vision later.
Okay, excellent. You store all of that information for later. They do say is sort of short hair, not like someone having like noticeably long hair, and that's what made the stubble or the beard visible, you know.
Yeah.
And you just spend the rest of the evening sort of like going around the area trying to find anything else. Mm-hmm. But after a while, you realize that a lot of people don't know. There is not much to get from there.
Sure.
Duchess does what she does, and she smells everything, and she tries to understand what's going on as well.
Cool.
Carl and Matilda, you're going to talk to Ruby, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ruby is actually, she tells you that she's at hers, but she can go to yours if need be.
Where's hers?
BS3 area. BS3 area. All of you live in the BS3 area.
Okay.
I'll just say to Carl, do you want to go to hers or to mine? Preference?
I'll be led by you. The only thing I need to do is try and get to see somebody of authority in the Camarilla and let them know what's going on with Christine. But
right.
So whichever's the nearest, I suppose, be useful for me.
Probably hers.
Yeah, let's go to hers.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you arrive, she's there. She has an apron. It's painted with colors all over. She has some paint in her hands. And then, of course, you let her know that Carl is also going. So when you arrive, she greets both of you. She says that it's great that, Carl, who is someone that she knows, and Matilda, who's like one of her besties, you are in a coterie together. It's like, oh my God, this is such a coincidence that you are like co-workers or whatever. And then you step in. She shows you what she has been painting. She has been feeling a little distant from the group. That she's been spending a lot of time on her own or with Mitchell. She tells you that Mitchell is not around. He went out.
I'm immediately interested by her paintings, of course.
She's quite talented. She is quite talented, and
I get caught up in them.
You can see the level of, like, it is as if she has a very deep understanding of what art represents without actually knowing it. Like, she draws things that at a point you both see a wave crashing against the rocks. And Carl makes a comment, and Matilda realizes that she's been thinking about it in a completely different way. And that's when Carl notices that she allows people to project their own emotions into the art and then interpret it however they want. And what makes her a good artist is that she has the ability of evoking or allowing more than one emotion to bounce. She will give you the idea of what's behind. But these are paintings of the sea, of the bay, rivers, the rain, waves, storms. everything is very nautical, boats and things like that.
Well, I'll just look at them for a while, and then turn
Lean
to her.
into Ruby and just say, "Look like you got a fan."
Oh no, I'm trying to put into use all the things that I have learned, but all together at the same time. It's quite difficult, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. Also, the last few nights I've been able to see the waters differently, and I think that's I don't know. They call to me in a different way now, and I like it, and I want to paint it. I want to put it on the canvas, and I think I'm getting there.
What's different about it? The water.
Well, I've always liked it. Ever since I was a kid, my dad used to sail, and we would go out the bay. We would be, well, we were in Cardiff, and we would sail. We would go to Swansea or go around the coast, around the Severn, and it was always interesting. I remember when we were kids, I must have been like 10, and we sailed all the way to Liverpool, to quite a few days. He had a very meticulously planned route, but what we saw during that trip, it was lovely. It was the peace. You can only hear the waves and the wind. If you go into the open sea, you won't even hear the seagulls. Nothing.
And that is the perfect unity of the phlegmatic and the sanguine. Of course, that's what I'm seeing. I'm feeling that unity, the unity of the blood, of sanguinity, of reaching out to people, linked with that cerebral aspect.
I have heard about theories about people talking about these humors and stuff, but yeah, it makes sense. The sea is both my source of peace and my source of joy, but also it can be powerful and relentless. It can evoke very complex emotions, and then the conversation goes into that for a while.
After a while, try and pull it back to reality.
Because I understand that Matilda is the one. He's like, I'm amongst two Toreador. This is gonna take forever. But yes, at some point you draw the conversation back.
But I will say, I'll kind of segue into, and you say that there has been some sort of coalescence in your amazing talent.
It's not
in the last little while.
The thing is that after the death, the murder, after the brutal murder of Gareth, I went back to our old notes and our old paintings and our old projects, and I realized that there were many things that I had never used, that he had talked about, and I never tried because I never saw them as my thing.
Yeah.
And well, he was a very good friend. He's the one who hooked us up, Mitchell and me, you know. His brother, so to speak, is the cartographer. They were sired by the same autarky Toreador, and of course Mitchell was looking for places, you know, Anarch places to settle, and we were with a cartographer in his office, and Gareth actually took sort of a liking to what I was looking for, a place near the waters, and it was very difficult because autarkies are always, you know, territories by the waterways. So I remember Mitchell trying to come up with ideas to help, and then we started talking, and that's how we worked together. So Gareth was always... We were not super close, but I respected him much, and he was very special.
Yes.
Wait, when did you see Gareth before the last time before he died?
Well, I mean, probably a month before I found out the news. As I said, like we weren't particularly close. He was more of a mentor figure, but someone that I felt closely because beyond that social interaction, there was this element of him being central in me finding Mitchell and helping us out whenever we needed to talk to his sibling, and he would make arrangements so we could, have the appointments with the cartographer in a time that was convenient for everybody. I mean, he was very helpful. We've been trying to get a place by the waterfront ever since, and Mitchell is convinced that we cannot. Well, yeah, we want to get one together, but Mitchell is convinced that he can make it work by owing only a single minor boon, and I think he's crazy. Like, he's gonna be owing much more than that if he wants that from Teach. It's gonna take him a lot.
I think a haven there would be too much for a minor boon. Certainly, it's possible. I mean, you can see what can be worked out, and obviously we do have an autarchus in our coterie, so we could maybe they could help as well. But what we really need to find out is, you have probably heard there's been another death.
Oh yes. Aventru, Kami.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be insensitive, Carl. Was he a friend of yours?
I knew him. He wasn't a friend. Not so much as Gareth, really. But that was through our clan connection. We are family, whether or not we are of the same faction. I always think, anyway.
Yes.
I mean, I look around and I see your artwork, and I think, how could this be my enemy? But
I don't get it. Why so many people in both of our factions think that we are enemies just because we think different? It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. But what we've learnt is there is possibly a connection between these two deaths, between Gareth's and Jonathan's deaths.
Oh no!
And so that's why we wanted to talk to you, and particularly to talk to anybody who was close to Gareth, to see what he was working on, to see who he was close to. Because if we can solve his death, maybe we can solve both, and if we can solve the other death as well, we could.
Do you know if you ever met Jonathan Fowler? If they had any connections?
Oh, me?
Gareth?
No,
Gareth and Jonathan.
I mean, Gareth was very sociable, and he was well liked. And probably, as an autarchist, he probably did more than one favor to the Camarilla. But I cannot. I wouldn't know. I'm sorry, I cannot.
No, it's all right.
But I'm interested in his art as well. What was he working on before he died? I mean, do you know anybody who might be able to shed light on that? There might be some clues in that.
Probably his brother, James Harris, the cartographer himself. But I do know he was working on historical pieces. He was trying to do a homage for all of the factions. So he was trying to go as far back as he could on the creation of the library, as far back as he could for the creation of the autarchies, I remember, specifically because he is an autarchist. And I think that, like, the autarchies here were created, I don't know, he knew the dates. And I think he was going to go for sort of like a homage piece of sorts.
Interesting.
I think he intended it to make it an autarchist gift for each of the factions.
Right.
Okay.
Like different gifts, but something that I don't know, probably with common elements, to remind everybody that at some point we were nothing and then we were created as a faction. I couldn't possibly guess. I mean, that's as far as I can go on an artistic limb there.
Well, we are factions, I understand that, but we are also kindred, and it is not a mistake that is the word that is used. We are kin with each other. We are a fighting family. That is.
If you were an Anarch and ran for representative, I would vote for you. Unless you were running against Matilda, because we
Thank
already
you.
promised that we were reporting for her.
Thank
Well,
you.
Did you know?
Well, far
We're-
be it for me to
Don't
enter
get any
politics, of
ideas,
course.
Carl.
But,
No,
but you're well.
Carl, you need to hear all about this. We are
Yeah,
trying to
I know.
convince Matilda to run for representative of this area.
Yeah.
Really?
It's not until 5 years from now, 6 years from now, but she definitely has a shot.
That sounds very interesting, and sadly, I won't get a vote either. But
No.
of course, I would vote for you if I could.
Thank you.
But you being with her is good for her reputation, because then people from the Camarilla can see that she's getting along well with you, and Toreadors of all factions can see that she's getting along well with our clan, and we're the most numerous. There's a lot of us in the Anarchs.
Thank
Well, her
you.
reputation amongst
Press
the
you.
Camarilla is obviously that of a complete monster.
Mm.
So this
But you
isn't
can
what
help
I've
her.
discovered. But
Come on, you can help her
It's
with
fine. No, he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to.
I'm happy to help.
No.
Well,
Of course.
that. If
But,
we're gonna make a campaign center, we're gonna get everything
Ruby.
organized. It was not my idea. Squid is the one who's pushing it forward, but don't worry.
Yeah,
I
right.
will deal with Squid. You don't have to deal
Thank
with
you.
him, okay, Carl?
fine. Well, yes, absolutely.
You will know Squid is a Nosferatu of the Anarchs.
Yes.
Okay, just so you know.
Ruby,
Yes.
a bit. Have you been to Ashton Court recently?
2 nights ago, why?
Who was there?
Wow.
Was
Well, I've been...
Just-
last night... You mean of importance or
I mean,
that we
yeah,
know?
I mean of importance.
Well, I've seen Felicity Harris was there, our representative. Jacinta and Roger. Those are the representatives I met. I saw yesterday, and I saw Teach, and a guy that I don't remember his name, but I know he's one of his autarky's friends.
Did they all, Jacinta and Roger and everyone, were they happy? Did they look distressed? What were they like?
Like normal. Everybody's concerned about what happened in London. Everybody's concerned about what's happening with the refugees. But a lot of people were relieved because a lot of the refugees are finding ways out. The ones that needed to hold up here for a few weeks have done so, and they're leaving. Ragnar was there as well. Completely. Oh man, that is such a nasty individual.
Yeah, he's a piece of work.
But it looks like he was there because his coterie is no longer hosting anyone. Apparently, all 4 guests or three guests. I think it's only turned out to be 3 guests have left.
They've all gone.
Yeah.
Are we the only coterie left with?
No,
Refugees,
I think it's the other way around. I think that is the only coterie with people having left.
Okay.
All of them. But surely someone you were hosting is soon to leave. Like by this time they should.
Yes.
Don't you know? Don't you speak to them?
Yes, we do, and one of them is leaving, I think, tomorrow.
See. So it's happening these days. But it's been very difficult on Ashton Court over the last, I don't know, week and a half, because I've been going there sort of regularly, especially because, again, Mitchell is asking a lot of questions about how can we get this place, you know? So we're going a lot to Ashton Court to engage with autarkies or people from other factions that could, you know, give us a place. And, sorry?
Carlos, how many nights ago was Jonathan Fowler murdered, or was his body found?
3-4 nights ago.
Okay.
But she just said that she's been going there pretty
Yeah.
much every day for the last week or more.
Yeah.
And actually, she mentions that she is intending to go later tonight because of this. Like, she's going every night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, perhaps I could come with you. And
Yeah.
I mean, Carl, do you want to come as well?
To Ashton Court.
Well, Carl would have to go to at least the suspension bridge.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
And choose whether he wants to go to Ashton Court or to the observatory, because he might find his Primogen in either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's fine. I mean, we can't ring ahead because we don't have phones. So I will say, that I have to go. I have to
No. Yeah.
go somewhere where there is authority tonight, much as I don't particularly want to. So, of course, I would love to accompany you to
excellent.
wherever we're going.
Well, then she just takes an old Nokia and sends a text to Mitchell saying that she's gonna be early to Ashton Court. She gets ready real fast, and the three of you make way to there.
Okay.
Nanjizal. So some of your contacts come up with stuff. Jonathan Fowler was not the kind of the person who would be doing business in the type of things that you are engaged at the moment.
Yeah, you.
He is more of a sort of top brass kind of guy, but it's still information is a valuable asset.
Yeah.
And apparently, Jonathan Fowler was not supposed to be around Bristol. He had been sent to deal with some business, but apparently his stay here was prolonged because some deals were not finished in time. So people are saying, like, it's a pity because he should have left like 3 nights earlier or 2 nights earlier.
So he normally is from here, but he was going out to some other city. Do I know where? Which other city?
It's in the Netherlands, but you don't know where.
Okay, not UK.
No,
okay.
not in the UK. He would be going to the Netherlands because he travels back and forth between those places.
Okay, so this would have been a usual journey for the kind of business that he does.
Yes,
It's just
yes.
He hadn't made it because other deals haven't come through.
Banking, you would like he is into banking, but apparently, one of your contacts is very interested in saying, Did you know anyone in that ring? Because they also move weapons.
Okay. So do I know anyone in that ring?
You
I have anything for anyone in that ring?
You know weapon smugglers, but the way this sounds, the Fowlers are arms dealers. They are on a different league.
Right. So I probably don't want anything to do with them then.
Well, unless they want to smuggle cargo.
Yeah, okay.
Around.
Fine.
But
okay.
But yeah, that's sort of what you get from.
Okay, that's what I get from across my thing. Do I manage to find a computer for Christine?
Yes. Actually, they get, like, someone gets you a computer with a VPN and a router that it has, like, encrypted. They do all of the stuff and tell you, like, this should be, like, fairly secure for, like, banking even.
Okay.
And because you mentioned finances and stuff, and go like, well, this is very secure. Like, no one's gonna hack this. If it's used for banking and stuff, of course, if they are stupid enough to open like a Trojan or like a malware, or they go on sites they shouldn't, it's their problem, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, in which case, so assuming I can get the goods, as it were, in terms of the computer, then I will make my way back to the HQ.
You can find them, but then you will need to pay them. They will give them to you at a later point. You're just making the arrangements.
But presumably I can facilitate that happening.
Yeah, so the scene I'm interested in playing is actually Hannah.
Oh, okay. Yep, fine.
So you show up, and Hannah, Hannah messaged you back when you say that you're going there, and she's watching TV.
Oh, good. Excellent. So I'll rock up and knock on the door.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a key. I don't know if I've got a key.
Yeah, you got a key. You knock on the door, and she just yells, "It's coming in," and you use your key.
Shut the door. Go sit down on the sofa. Put my feet up.
Yeah, she's there in the sofa, laying there.
Yeah. Be like, what are you watching?
Oh, she's watching Bake Off on rerun. Yeah. How do you call it? On the TV thingy.
On demand or whatever.
On demand, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
She's the Great
So-
British Bake Off, which apparently is massive here in the UK, so I had to include it in the Chronicle to make it relevant.
All right. I mean, I ain't never seen it. What's it like? Do you like it?
She starts explaining how they have these challenges and there's a baking, and then she has a craving for sweets.
Then I'll wait for it to finish though,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be like, "Are you really gonna put all that shit about bacon in your Chronicle?
Sorry?
Are you really gonna put all that shit about bacon in your Chronicle?
No.
Good.
She's gonna tell Nanjizal what is the show about, and that
Yes.
she now has a craving for sweets because she's been watching this.
Okay. Well, I'll say. Well, what else have you been up to? I know we haven't seen each other for a bit.
Not much. Working. It's been better actually. Got a new boss. Everything's lovely. I mean, you wouldn't believe it.
Well, that's good. I'm pleased to hear it. I want to talk about something,
Mm-hmm.
but you've got to promise to hear me out and not think I'm weird, okay?
You're scaring me.
I'm not. I didn't mean it like that. I just
Were you in a fight?
no. Well, I mean, no more than normal, but I mean, it wasn't a bad one, and nobody was hurt. So you know, but you know what it's like at the docks. Sometimes, you know.
The dogs? You were in the dogs. You were in the fight at the dogs.
Right.
And you say it wasn't a bad one.
I mean, it was. I mean, I'm all right, aren't I? You can see that I'm all right.
Yeah. Well, what is it? Out with it.
It's not to do with the dogs. It's just. Remember, I told you ages ago about me and my dad
Mm-hmm.
when we went down Cornwall.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I told you about. Like, ever since he was gone, how I was feeling about it.
Yeah.
Well, I think things are starting to change. I got, feeling different. I feel like I've got that connection back with him. And it's because of someone else, someone I met, or someone I work with. I met through work anyway.
Is this someone like a significant other, or this is just a friend?
No. It's just a friend. He's a friend, but he's got. I know he understands this sort of thing. I don't know how.
Well, probably he's gone through the same.
Probably. Anyway, I was talking to him about it, and turns out he has got a deep understanding of it. He understands how these things work. Anyways, I was wondering, because you and I are best mates.
Hmm.
I was wondering if I could introduce you to him, because he's a friend, and you're a friend, and
You want me to screen him for you to see if he's solid?
No, I don't want you to screen him. It's important to me that I can share this with you. And
Well, if he's helping you out,
right,
then I want to meet him.
He's helping me out.
Yeah.
I don't have to be today because you've got to watch the bacon and whatnot. But sometime, if I set up, you come.
Yeah, sure.
Good.
Love to. Yeah. We can go out, know each other, understand how we can both help you better. And she reaches out to hold your hand. It's, I care about you.
I know.
I love you. And if this person is helping you, then I want to meet them and I want to thank them. And let's see how the three of us can help you.
Thanks.
Because I know how important your dad was to you.
He was. And I miss him, man, Especially,
I know.
nights like tonight. He wouldn't have ended up in a fight like what I would. He weren't like that.
He was a good man.
He was. And Janusz, that's my mate. He never met him. You know him, but I don't know. He's got you got to meet him to see. He's got like a vibe about him, right?
Yeah. I'm happy to meet him.
Anyway, your lot got tote 3-0 at the weekend.
Yeah, we can meet. We can go out and have lunch, or we'll go to a park or something, or just have a drink.
He's got a big house. We can go there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe social drinks at a barbecue or something.
So I don't know how he feels about barbecues on his house, but
ask him if we're gonna get there. Maybe something to drink.
He have got a lot of dogs, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, dogs. Okay.
One of them's really big, but you don't pay her no mind. She's really friendly.
As long as they don't tip me over or do anything weird when I'm in the wheelchair. Also, I don't want to.
Weird, are they?
No, what I don't want is like to run over one of their tails or something. I don't want your friend disliking me because I just,
They got legs, haven't they? They can get out of the way.
Well, either way.
Right. Well, I'll talk to him, set up, and I'll ask him about barbecue. He might not like a barbecue, but I'm sure we can sort out something.
Sure. Can we have some cake as well?
Yeah. I'm sure we can get
She
cake.
says watching, and she goes like, but I meant right now.
Do you want me to go and get cake?
Yeah, I can have a lemon.
Like
Yeah.
All right.
Victoria Sponge.
I'll get you some cake. And I'll go out and get her cake.
Okay, cool. Carl and Matilda. Carl,
yes.
you are going. Carl, Matilda, and Ruby are going to Ashton Court, and at some point you probably are. Matilda drives. Of course, you cannot park inside. You park outside of Ashton Court.
Yeah.
Carl will get a phone call while he's in the car.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Same blocked out number as before.
Okay. I will say, I can imagine who this is. Hello.
Good evening, Carl.
Do you have any more information for me?
Well, not necessarily information that would be useful to you. Have you found out whether or not my child was diablerized? From what you have heard, no. I think we had this conversation previously.
No.
Been
I'll say, we are with a friend of his, but it seems not. As far as we know, it would be a difficult thing to hide, I think.
Indeed. Well, if he has not been diablerized, then I believe the link between the two murders becomes more tenuous.
Ah, so you're just saying that you've sent us on a wild goose chase, then?
I asked for a favor, Toreador to Toreador. I will make my child, James, remembers you very dearly for this.
Well, James is someone that we would like to talk to. Certainly.
I will make that happen.
Thank you. My feeling is I have an interest in Gareth's work. He was delving into the history of the factions of Bristol before he died.
Yes, he was.
And he may have possibly unearthed something that someone didn't like. Is this a possibility?
I have not thought about it that way. He had been asking about the time of the creation of the library, in which me and, well, actually one of my coterie mates at the time, a good friend by the name of Ambrose, he joined the library and had it officially formed. So yes, Gareth and I have had many long conversations about the creation of the library, who is an offshoot of the autarchies.
Interesting.
Do you think that he prodded a little too intently into the history of Bristol, and that's what got him killed?
It is a theory. That is all. In my experience, it's all about the art. His art
May
have got him into trouble.
I will consider what you're saying. Again, feel free to contact my child, and I'll make sure that he is most helpful to you in any endeavor
Thank you.
you might need with the cartography.
He is someone who is close to Gareth, I think, and so it is possible that he knows about. It's something I'd like to look into for its own sake, but if it gives us a clue as well, that is a bonus.
I see. Well, thank you. And then she immediately hangs up.
Okay. I'll say I apologize. It's the same, and I'll just I'll look at Matilda and say, it was her again.
Oh, is she happy?
She is going to. It is Gareth and James's sire, and so she will arrange for us to see James, who may have some information.
Good of her.
And then I'll turn to Ruby, because I've been jotting
Mm-hmm.
while we're in the car, and I say, I've written something for you, Ruby. It is a sonnet. I am so inspired by your paintings. And it goes like this. The shifting of the seas in calm or storm, it laps all shores and reaches every realm, never still, forever changing its form. Your father's hand is steady on the helm. Fair beauty, nature, commerce, food and all, the waters rule all aspects of our lives. And though it seems they hold us in their thrall, by harnessing them, we can then thrive. The brush moves on the canvas, bringing truth. The seas cannot be trapped within this art. Each eye that looks upon it knows its sooth. For calm or storm, the knowledge in each heart. Your paintings do transport us all to sea, and through them all of us will feel more free. And I just tear it out of my notebook and give it to her.
A single teardrop, a bloody teardrop, drops from her eye. She says, "It's beautiful, Carl. Thank you."
As I say, it is for your paintings and you.
And she holds it to her chest as Matilda pulls over and you get out of the car.
Okay.
You have to check twice when you're leaving the car because you're on the side of the road. And it is very unclear for Matilda exactly what happens. She doesn't see the action completely. But as Carl is getting out of the car, he sees a man approaching him that looks him in the eye and says, "How you like this?" And he throws something at you.
I'll duck.
You will try.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to when someone throws not a single thing but a splash of water to you.
Okay.
Like it looks like as if he had like a small bottle and threw like poured a little bottle.
Okay.
You will duck most of it.
I know what's coming here.
Yeah, you will duck most of it.
Okay.
But where the liquid touches your skin, it burns you. Like it erupts in a tiny fire. You get one aggravated.
Scream.
Yeah, you get one aggravated health levels of damage.
Okay.
Matilda will turn, and this guy just threw something. He is burning. Smoke is coming out of his face. The guy just goes, "Holy shit!" Turns around, gets on top of a bike. Whoa, yes?
Can I try and command him to stop or compel him to stop?
The thing is that you need to look at him in the eye, and he is on the street, getting on the back of a motorcycle where another person is waiting for him. Now, the only thing you can see is this guy running away, Carl clutching at his face.
I'm just holding my face. I can't really do anything else other than that. I can feel the burn on my face, and I need to.
And
do I think I could feasibly catch up with them before the motorbike?
Not unless you have something like Celerity 3, because it catches you unawares.
Okay.
It seemed that what happened with the water caught the man unawares as well.
Okay. Oh shit. All right. Fine. I'm gonna make a conscious effort to try and memorize the license plate or the.
That's smart.
Plate. Yeah.
And with Ruby running around and trying to, assist Carl, Carl has been burned.
I'm gonna turn around to her and say, "Get him back in the car."
Yeah.
Just in case it's a masquerade breach.
Yeah, it looks like one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in going back to his haven, Janus, before he goes back to HQ, Janus experiences something of a weird chill. Something feels odd in the house of Kupala. He intently looks at the area that is giving him less of a connection with what he should feel. Opens his eyes to the truth. And with a prayer to Kostroma to allow him to see in his lips, he sees a figure, translucent almost. Someone that he had not seen before, even though this haven is inhabited by those who were lost on the last attack. This is a new presence. And this new presence carries in his neck a piece of sea glass, almost identical to the one that Nanjizal carries around her neck. It is a man in his late 40s, early 50s, who says nothing to you, but stares at you with contempt. While Matilda's driving at a breakneck speed, those are small wooden passages and areas. Her phone starts ringing, and even though she ignores it, it rings again, and she takes a look, and it's Christine, and it keeps on ringing.
Carl's still burning up in the back.
No, he is not burning up. He's in the back seat with Ruby, probably trying to do some assessment of the damage.
Well, the second time it rings, I'll say, "Oh, I'll get that."
Fine. It's all right. I could just turn it off. It's fine. It's not pressing.
Okay.
I'll put it on silent.
Excellent.
And then depending on where I'm going.
Well, probably, I don't know if you're going back to HQ.
We could, or we're going on to Ashton Court. I mean, we were going.
You had just parked to go to Ashton Court, but you needed to take a walk, like a 5-minute walk from where you parked, and Matilda decided just to get out of Dodge before that.
I'm going to turn back to Carl and be like, I think we should sort you out. Do you want to go back to Ashton Court?
Well, is it a long walk to where the Primogen lives?
No, I mean it would be it's not a long drive. Matilda would just have to drive over the suspension bridge. The Primogen lives in the observatory.
Well, we should maybe go there, because if this is a breach of the Masquerade, then I need to talk to them about it.
Did you recognize him?
Did I? I mean, I would have seen him, I guess.
No, well, you could not see him well, but it's not no one you would recognize immediately.
No, sure.
They were, you saw her, you saw them their face, Not massively well, but you still have Auspex. But it's no one that you recognize. You will remember them. If you see them again, you will recognize them.
Yeah, okay, good.
So Matilda drives over the suspension bridge and into the observatory, where Ruby helps Carl and takes him out of the car. Is Matilda going in there? Because this is officially Camarilla territory, and this is the place where the primogen of the Toreador does his business. Or do you just wait down?
No fucking way I'm saying that I can't.
Okay, so Carl makes his way with Ruby up the hill. You do anything in your car?
I'm gonna bring Christine back.
Okay. Out of our earshot of pretty much anyone, because you wait until people leave. Christine is a wreck. She's crying. She is distressed. She's saying, "Where are you? I was counting on you."
I heard what happened. I heard that Carl sorted you out in his own way. Was that...
Sort me out.
Was
that's what he called it. Everybody fucked me tonight. Everyone. Even that bitch Primogen Toreador of the Camarilla. She said that there is no way that a Primogen can be beholden to a boon to a mortal. I fucking took her out of London, and the bitch, that fucking whore, fucked me.
When Carl gave you his blood, Christine, was that consensual? Did you take it? Did you take it because you were desperate?
I couldn't say no to him, and he keeps insisting, and I don't know what he did. I mean, I'm not afraid that I'm gonna start being drawn to him. I still feel the blood of David calling for me. But this is not a good step forwards, Matilda. And I have nothing to offer you, but I need your help. I need out.
What do you need?
I need you to embrace me. Meanwhile, Nanjizal, going back to the HQ, she hears the news first. She gets a call. And the person calling is Caroline Barrister. It's Teach's PA.
Oh, it's Teach's PA. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Caroline goes, it's like, Nanj?
All right. What's up?
Hold up now.
What? What's happening?
Well, here in Bristol, nothing yet. But apparently, all over the fucking globe, the Bruya and the Gangrel have defected the Camarilla. Someone died out of the Ventru, and I don't know, but people are out for blood. Hold up now.
Well, I'll say...
And
all right, I'll end the call.
Yeah, and ends the call.
I will... So, hang on, sorry, because we're not using... I've got like a burner phone, right?
You have
the others don't have phones? Or I have a
well, Janos doesn't have a phone, Matilda has a phone, and Carl has one, but he's not using it unless, like, it's for super emergencies like this.
Text Matilda to deliver this information, and then head to Janish's Haven. I'll say in my text that's where I'm going to.
Okay.
Okay.
And with sorry?
No, I'll text back saying I need to wait for Carl. We'll be there soon.
Yeah.
ASAP.
I'm off to his house.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with the news of the death of Hardestad at the hands of Theobel, and the Bruya and the Gangrel defecting towards the Anarchs, that's where we're gonna leave Season 1. When we come back on the 11th of January for Season 2, Episode 1, a 5-year time jump will have occurred. So let's see what the characters' decisions are about that point and the repercussions feel free to join us. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, or what all the names, and lovely, lovely festive season or break and no work. That's the best part. No work and lots of food. Enjoy it. Have a lovely new year. From everyone on the Blood on the Severn cast and crew, we love you. We want you to have the best time out there, and we will see you next year. So I think that is it from us.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you, Carl.
everybody.
Thank you, Carlos.
Thank you for everything. Thank you to my players, and bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.